Ezekiel 38 and 39. This is going to be a very quick study lesson. I can't tell you how many times I have heard somebody talk about the Ezekiel 38 and 39 war. And they always combine Ezekiel 38 and 39. And you have to realize that Ezekiel 38 and Ezekiel 39 are separated by 1,000 years. It is just like talking about when Moses walked the earth and when the Messiah walked the earth. Very important times for both of them, but they're separated by about 1,000 years or so. Ezekiel 38 is at the end of all time. Ezekiel 39 is Armageddon. So, and actually, I should say it's actually from the time of Jacob's trouble, the end of Jacob's trouble, starting the tribulation, the Great Tribulation, until Armageddon. But they're totally different. So let's look at and see where these things are different. Now, I'll start for Ezekiel 38 because it's real quick and easy. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I'll start from the beginning. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, set your face against Gog of the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, prophesy against him and say. Now realize, we know from Josephus where this is. Magog is Georgia, Ukraine, or Russia. So that's where this prince is coming from. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I am against you, Gog, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. I will turn you around, put hooks in your jaws, and bring you out with your whole army. Your horses, your horsemen, fully armed, and a great horde with large and small shields, all of them brandishing their swords. Persia, Cush, and Put will be with them, all their shields and helmets. Also Gomer with his troops, and Beth Tagarmah from the far north, that should be Turkey, with all its troops. The many nations will be with you. Now here's where it blows up in their face for the time frame. Get ready, be prepared, you and all the hordes gathered about you, and take command of them. After many days you will be called to arms. In future years you will invade a land that is recovered from war. Sounds like we recovered from Armageddon. Whose people were gathered from many nations to the mountain of Israel, which had long been desolate. The greater Exodus, the second Exodus, has come back, and we've recovered after 1,000 years. They had been brought out from the nations, and now all of them live in safety. What do we know about the millennial reign? There's no war there. It's safe. You and all your troops, and the many nations with you will go up, advancing like a storm. You will be like a cloud covering the land. And I can go further on here, but I hope you can really see that this is the end of all time. This is the final battle. Remember, Satan is chained for 1,000 years and then he's released for a short time. This is what he's doing at that short time. He's bringing in the battle to end all battles. Now, let's go. That's Ezekiel 38. And this is kind of weird because you would think 38 would be the earlier one and 39 would be the latter one. But this is a jigsaw. Bible's a jigsaw. So you got to figure these things out. So, Ezekiel 39. Son of man, prophesy against Gog and say, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I am against you, Gog, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Notice he doesn't say Magog here in verse 1. But it says it later on. So it's an interesting thing without really much distinction because he then mentions it. I will turn you around and drag you along. I will bring you from the far north. Where's Russia? From the far north. Where is Magog? From the far north. And send you against the mountains of Israel. Then I will strike your bow from your left hand and make your arrows drop from your right hand. That should be Armageddon, because when he's trying to shoot against us, we know they're ineffective. On the mountains of Israel you will fall, you and all your troops and the nations with you. I will give you as food to all kinds of carrion birds and to the wild animals. You will fall in the open field, for I have spoken, declares the Lord. I will send fire on Magog and those who live in safety in the coastlands, and they will know that I am the Lord. I will make I will make known my holy name among my people Israel. Make known, that means he's coming. This is Armageddon. I will no longer let my holy name be profaned, and the nations will know that I am the Lord and the Holy One in Israel. It is coming, it will surely take place, declares the sovereign Lord. This is the day I've spoken of. And then after that it goes through, we'll burn up their weapons for 7 years, we'll use them for fuel. Yeah, that's our start, that's Armageddon. So this is, again, the beginning battle is he has to come down to become the Antichrist and to stop the morning and evening sacrifice. So hopefully now after seeing this, again, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll never look at Ezekiel 38 and say, oh, that's Armageddon. Again, you'll say, oh, that's the battle at the end of all time. And Ezekiel 39 is clearly him coming in to invade Israel. Then you get to Zephaniah 14 of what happens there. And then again we have Armageddon. That's the end of it, which is, he's shooting all of his arrows, but they just drop on the ground. They're not doing anything. So again, I said it'd be real quick, and hopefully that was super quick.